Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto, and today I'm here with my guest, Andrew Barreto. And today we're gonna be talking about the first couple of games of the NBA playoffs. For those who don't know, the playoffs game started about the last week. Last week they started. Um, and
It
last week
was
was
Saturday.
Saturday. So Saturday was the first games. Last week was the finish of the playing games. And yeah, now we're into the playoffs. So the first matchup we got Bucks Pacers. I think yeah, they are the fourth and the fifth seed going at it. Obviously, Bucks game one they were without Damian Lillard, but they ended up getting blown out 117 to 98. And this Pacers team, man, I mean, they're good. They are a good team. I mean,
Yeah,
they're led by Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, but they also got good key contributors like Miles Turner, Andrew Nemhard. They got Bennedict Mathurin. I mean, Halliburton only put up 10 points this game, yet they won by 19.
right.
And for the
Yeah, they
Bucks,
yeah, that first game they took control there and they uh like you said, they beat him down pretty good. It's a little surprising, a Giannis team um getting beat like that already in the first game, but go ahead. Like you said, game 2 was tonight.
yeah, and Pacers won again. They won by 5, and the Bucks did have Dame, but Bucks are now down 2-0 in that series. I mean, in game one, I mean, Giannis had 36 points. Kyle Kuzma, the guy they traded for midway through the season, dropped 0 points. He had 0.0 assists, 0 rebounds. He was basically doing 22 minutes of cardio out there. Brook Lopez only had 9. Teron Prince only had 0. Kevin Porter Jr. off the bench at 12. AJ Green had 15. Gary Trent Jr. had 14. But yeah, Giannis had no help game one, and the Pacers just took absolute control and took that first game. And then today, like I said, they lost 123 to 115. Obviously, they had Dame. He played 37 minutes, only had 14 points. Again, Giannis had 34. Kuzma did have 12, but they didn't get that same production. They got 28 from Bobby Portis off the bench, but after that, they just didn't really get much production from other guys. And for the Pacers, it was just an all around team effort. I mean, like all the starting lineup all had about 15 plus, and I mean, that's what you need. A well rounded team is gonna win you games, and it's gonna win you, you know, playoffs. It's gonna. I mean, that's right there. Pacers are a well rounded team. They got size. They got shooters. They got playmakers, and the Bucks just simply do not have that. They have their superstars and a couple other role players, and that's about it.
Yeah, they don't. It seems like so far, anyways, they don't have enough. They have Giannis, which is he's gonna take over, do his thing. Came back today, but you got after Damian Lillard, then where does it go? I know Bobby Portis is an energy guy. Not sure if he's still coming off the bench or starting, but yeah. After that, let's see where the points are, but or where they're going to come from and where the sparks needed. I still feel a Giannis team with Lillard that that they grind out some wins coming up. They're now what I think now they're going home to play two
Yeah.
there, and so hopefully they could try to snatch a couple of home games there, even the series out. But yeah, I mean, just my opinion, I think it gets extended a little bit more this series. I don't think it'll be as quick as uh, like a sweep or a quick series. I think it's actually going to go. We'll see how it goes. Everybody has their predictions, right? I think it goes the distance here, all 7 games, but it's still early. So hopefully they can control their home field court.
Yeah, I believe this series could go deep, but I also think Pacers could win 4-0. Obviously in
Yeah.
2021, Bucks won the championship, right? They beat the Suns, but they had the team for that championship. And I knew after that, every team after they win the championship, they lose key players and it's a whole different
Yeah.
team. And I knew once I saw them lose a couple key guys, especially when they lost Drew Holiday, I knew that Bucks team wasn't gonna be as great as it used to be. And like I said, as a Warriors fan, there's some bias to it, but I will forever believe Giannis's biggest mistake. I know he's a loyal player, but if he really wanted to go win, his biggest
Yeah.
mistake was signing that extension with Milwaukee because I don't see them winning, especially now with the team right now. I mean, maybe if they trade for a superstar. I mean, obviously
Right.
Damian Lillard's a great player, but he's up there in age and he's no Steph Curry. I mean, it's just hard. I mean, imagine you pair Giannis with any of the other superstars in the league, and you put him on any other team, and I think that team could win the whole thing. But I just don't think the Bucks have it. I don't think the coach. They don't have the right coach, and I know Doc Rivers is an all-time great coach, but he just hasn't gotten there before. And I could see this Bucks team being a first round exit this playoffs.
Yeah, that could be it. Like you said, the Pacers have a more well-rounded team, like you said, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Pacers, they got a good team. I can't recall how far they went last year, but I know they were in it to go for a championship. But you're looking at the stats, and I'm looking at that now too, where yeah, you're after Giannis, you got Lillard, and you didn't have that game one. Kuzma was off the first game. It still shows he was a -7 on the court, you know, but he had 12, and then it just really, besides Bobby Portis off the bench, it says here, yeah, who he needs help, and that championship team had Chris Middleton, who he was one of the main keys to their championship run. And you mentioned Drew Holiday as well, not only scoring but on the defensive side. So yeah, I mean, if like I said, they don't get a couple wins coming up, at home, then yeah, they're in trouble, and there will be changes in Milwaukee. If it's a quick exit, I could imagine.
Yeah. So and now going on to the second game, obviously last game of the season, Clippers Warriors can't. It was a big game. That game ended up going to overtime. It was for I believe it gave the Warriors the sixth seed, it gave the Clippers the seventh seed, and they were in the play-in. But Clippers ended up winning. They became the fifth seed, and now they play Denver Nuggets round one. In game one, they lose in OT 112 to 110. Russell Westbrook came up very huge for the Nuggets down in the stretch. He got game tying three, or it was a game tying three. I think it was a game tying three, and then a game sealing steal. But this the Nuggets team, with Jokic, it's good, but it's not super deep. I mean, Jokic at 29, Aaron Gordon had a great game at 25. Michael Porter only had 3 points, and the interim head coach didn't play him in the clutch because he said when Michael Porter is locked in on both sides of the ball, he will be in to finish the game. But he felt that game one he wasn't there mentally, and so he didn't play me. I mean, he played 26 minutes, but he wasn't in during like the end of the fourth quarter overtime
Right.
at all. And Jamal Murray 21, Christian Brown 11, Russell Westbrook 15. But I mean, they only played, let's see, once. 8 guys only played that whole game for the Nuggets, and Clippers used about 10. And it was a close game. Clippers, Kawhi Leonard had 22, Powell 21, Zubac 21, Harden at 32. And it came down to a few mistakes for the Clippers in game one, a few things that just didn't go their way. But today, I believe today was game two for them.
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday was game two.
Yeah.
Clippers ended
Last
up yeah, they ended up coming out with the win, 105-102. They tie the series 1-1. Now they're heading back to LA, and it was just a vintage Kawhi game. I didn't really watch it, but I
Yeah, pretty
saw some of
much.
the highlights, and look at Kawhi
Yeah.
Leonard here, 39 points.
Yeah.
James Harden 18, and the rest of the team complimented them. And for the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon didn't have as big of his game. Michael Porter did better at 15. Jokic had a triple double, but only at 26. Jamal Murray at 23, and Christian Brown only had 5. And the rest, Russell Westbrook has actually been pretty consistent past 2 games. He had 14 again, but yeah, it was just Kawhi Leonard. Both sides of the ball, he gets it done, and it's gonna be an intriguing matchup. There, like I said, the 4 or 5 seeds, both the great teams, both teams that could go all the way. Even though I would probably say the Clippers are the better team.
Yeah, that it's a good matchup. The 4-5, like you said, I mean, I have it written down. I think it's going to go 7. I think they're really going to beat up
Yeah,
on each
I think it
other.
goes 7.
It was yeah, it was another vintage Kawhi game, I still have nightmares of that guy from 2019. When he was just single-handedly beating everybody, including the Warriors in the championship. Yeah, he was just something else that game. Every time he seemed like he handled the ball, he made it. He was very consistent. He was on one that night, and yeah, it evened up the series. Despite Jokic's triple double, and yeah, I like that matchup.
Yeah,
Them beat each other up.
yeah, it definitely was a physical matchup. Watching the fourth and overtime in game one, it was definitely very close. They both went back to back with it. But yeah, I do think this series goes to seven. Two great teams are both evenly matched up. But I believe the Clippers move on and
Did
beat
you
the
see
Nuggets.
the? Did you see the? This, I thought this was funny. Did you see what the Nuggets had on the bench on the seat for the fans? You go to the game. There's a shirt there or there's a towel. What their motto is for this series? Did
No,
you
what
happen to
is
see
it?
that?
I have
It's
not.
pretty funny. Like it was on Draymond Green, Baron Davis's podcast. So I'm stealing from them. I didn't see it myself, but I had a coworker tell me they're using the "We Believe"
Are
towels.
they really?
So yeah, so their whole thing for this series is "We Believe." It really it got Baron Davis upset, right? He's the part of
Yeah,
that
as he
2000.
should be, because the reason the
Yeah,
We
he
Believe
was.
started is because the Warriors were the eighth seed
Yeah,
going against
they
the number one seed. The Warriors team wasn't a championship team like the Nuggets are. They didn't have an MVP. What, three-time is gonna be what, two-time MVP in Jokic. It was a Warriors team that was a
3 times. Yeah,
bunch. Yeah, it was a bunch of Warriors players that were they were gritty guys, high motor guys that were just battling out there on the court. That's why
yeah, and that
they believed in each other, they believed in their team, not just some.
they barely made the playoffs that year too. They had to win the last final game against the Portland Trailblazers to get in to be the eighth seed. Like and as soon as they got into the eighth seed, that's when it came out. We believe, and it just blew up, became big, and then I just saw that where, Green agreed because Baron Davis said that someone should be fired for that.
Yeah, that's just yeah. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
that was the other thing. He's like, you need somebody.
Every team's gonna believe in themselves, but you
Yeah,
don't put it out on the towel, especially when you're the what I believe the fourth seed in the playoffs. You won the
fourth
championship a
seed in
couple
the
years
playoffs.
ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's not completely different. It's not even
Yeah,
close. And so both of them are saying, "Did you guys need someone to come up with a slogan?" He goes, "I can figure something out. This is not the best. Yeah, somebody should be fired for this." So, but anyways, I just thought I'd mix that in there because that's what they're going off of. So, but still in that series, like I said, I think it goes seven. They beat each other up, and yeah, I can see the Clippers winning that. I mean, they're gelling at the right time. They're healthy at the right time, and Harden doing what he's been doing his whole career, just knocking down threes, and Kawhi's back doing his thing, and drawing a blank on a couple other guys' names right now. But Zubac's a monster out there.
Zubac
So
is probably top five center in the league. To be honest, he's good.
yeah, no, he's. I know he always beats up on the Warriors, so we get to see him quite a bit, and yeah, his Nuggets that they have their hands full there. So yeah, it's gonna be good basketball to watch there.
Yes, it will. But and then moving on back to the Eastern Conference, Pistons Knicks, six 13 versus six seed. Um, at first the Pistons were up. I'm pretty sure they were up like 10 in the game one. Knicks ended the game on like a 24-0 run. They ended up winning 123 to 112. And I think this matchup is gonna go at least. I think it's gonna go 6 games. I mean, Tobias Harris played 40 minutes. He only had 25. Ausar Thompson, not much of a scorer, but he's a great defender at 10 points. Their center, Jalen Duren, only at 7. And I know he's only 21 or 22. He's a young guy, but they need him to step up. He's got a lot of talent. He's really good. Cade Cunningham had a double-double. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a 19. Malik Beasley at 20. And I mean, they're a good team, but for the Knicks, I mean, you know, Jalen Brunson, 34. OG Anunoby, 23. Karl Anthony Towns, 23. I mean, Campaign was great off the bench. He had 14. But yeah, that's gonna be a good series. And then game two was played yesterday. Pistons won 100-94. They tied the series before they head back to Detroit. But pretty sure it was their first win in Detroit, and I don't know how many
It's
seasons.
yes,
It would,
17 years. That was their first playoff win.
yeah,
It's been some time, and they're probably believing as well, right? They're Detroit's probably they got a mixture there of young guys like you said, Duran and Kate Cunningham, who played huge last night, and yeah, they ended up they almost lost the lead there. Like I know you said in game one they had a pretty big lead, let that go, and then yesterday they had. I can't recall if it was a double-digit lead or not, but they ended up uh, the Knicks ended up tying it. Brunson was pretty unstoppable down the stretch, and
yeah. I saw that. I saw a bunch of things. It was like Brunson needs to stop flopping. I saw like a few clips from that game where like every time he got touched, he was just throwing his hands, throwing the ball up in the
and
air,
all over the
trying to get to
place.
that free throw line.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yesterday Cade Cunningham led the team, 33 points. Dennis Schroeder off the bench was huge, 20. Tobias Harris 15. Duran had 12. And then for the Knicks, Brunson 37, but nothing else from the Knicks besides Mikal Bridges who had 19. I mean, and Towns had 10, Hart had 10, and Nobi had 10. But yeah, Pistons come out on top, and they're a gritty team. They got a lot of young guys. They got a lot of talent. Ron Hall. They don't seem to have trust in Jaden Ivey yet, because I don't think he's played in the first two games. But
Yeah,
they're a young team. They
I don't even see him on this
No, I don't either.
the stat sheet here. I got Lindsey Water the third's on there. Maybe we get a Lindsey Water the third sighting, but yeah, no, my opinion for me here, I think the Knicks, they could have probably got both those wins. It was pretty close down the stretch. Detroit pulled it out. Their youth and inexperience there down the almost cost them that game. It wasn't until Dennis Schroeder, bailed them out with the three, and then they started playing the free throw game. Um, but yeah, that particular one, I'm thinking the Knicks end up pulling it out. Cap Towns, Karl Anthony Towns ends up. I know he didn't do great yesterday, and he's getting a lot of backlash. 33 minutes, 10 points. So I think he turns that around, and then the Knicks eventually take that series, in my opinion. But yeah, I like Cade Cunningham, just not scared of the moment. First time All Star, getting better. As he keeps playing.
Yeah, I think the Knicks do take the series. Obviously, like I said, Pistons are a great team, but I think the Knicks are better. They have more experience. They got more veterans. I think the Pistons need a couple more veterans, especially if they're not playing all the young guys. But yeah, I think Knicks win probably about six. But now to a big matchup in the West: Wolves, Lakers, third seed versus the sixth seed again. And it was just straight dominance from the Wolves. They won 117-95. Game two is on right now, but pretty sure the Lakers are up like 17. But yeah, I mean the Timberwolves were just straight out the gate. They were on one. Jaden Daniels, 25 points. Randall had 16. Gobert only had 2. Edwards only had 22, but Naz Reid off the bench, 23. DiVincenzo, 9. Alexander Walker, 7. And this Bulls team has probably the best bench in this playoffs. I mean, maybe between them and the Cavaliers, but the bench of the Timberwolves is outstanding. For the Lakers, LeBron only had 19. Luka at 37. Reeves had 16. And yeah, like I said, straight dominance. But right now, today's game two, it's been very physical. Um, it's been a lot of fouls. Luka's been on one right now. And it looks like just the Timberwolves are just throwing up shots right now. But hopefully the second half changes for them. Right now, it's 15-point lead. It's 58-43 at half. But
Yeah, so something's got to turn around on that one, right? Yeah, I think
yeah,
Anthony Edwards was talking too early in the game, but like he always does, right? To be down, they're pretty big right now. It looks like uh, uh, Randall and himself, Edwards, they're in double digits. Everybody else is still in single digits. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I like that bench. Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, Alexander Walker. I mean, those are good players there. Um, this particular matchup, I mean, I could see this going to 7 games.
This matchup can go 7 games. It's gonna be
Yeah,
very close, back and forth.
right.
Um, Me personally, I think the Timberwolves walk out on top. Even though right now game two is not looking too great, it's first to
Yeah,
four. But I think Anthony Edwards is such a good player, and as great as Luka is offensively, his defense is just not it. And I mean, right now, I mean, he's looking pretty good out there. He's got, I want to say, about 20 points already in the first half, 20 something points. But they need other key contributors. I mean, like I said, they're up 15 right now, but LeBron's got to be a bigger factor in the game. Reeves needs to be a bigger factor. He's made like one out of his 6 threes so far. Um, but the main thing for the Timberwolves is they got size on the Lakers. But the problem is Rudy Gobert, as it's seen so far in this game, he looks like he's playing like he's 6'8". He's what 7'3" going against. I know Jackson Hayes is 7 foot, but he's just doesn't look like
yeah.
he knows what he's doing out there. As soon as he gets in the
He's getting
paint,
pushed around,
he's
huh?
right there getting pushed around. He's just throwing it and throwing it. And it's like you're right there, just yam it down. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Come
that'll be
on, man. Get
a
it.
big
He's
factor.
too skinny and
Yeah, he's
thin. He needs to hit the weight. He needs to hit the. It's funny you say that because did you see the I guess this was the Athletic had a most overrated players in the NBA, that this was among the peers,
and was yeah
not
yeah.
NBA players. Have you seen that?
I have not
So
seen the
they
players'
voted 90
votes.
votes. Yeah, so Rudy Gobert is number two
Who's number one?
of overrated, most overrated is Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm,
And the reason why this brought to my attention, because Jimmy Butler was on there and Draymond Green, both those guys are on there as like top 10. It goes
nah, I
Tyrese
mean,
Halliburton, he's number one. Rudy Gobert's number two, which we were just talking about him, and I agree with that one. I think that slot
yeah,
should be maybe
I
even
think
turned
Gobert
around.
should be number one. I mean, he got what like three defensive player of the year awards, even though he didn't deserve probably like two of them. He can't. He's getting switched down to guys like Luka and these point guards. He's getting absolutely cooked, and he's not pinning up points
Yeah,
offensively. Even this year, I mean, he's not even blocking shots like he used to. He's just not the guy he used to be. I mean, yeah, granted, when he won the Defensive Player of the Year, he was putting up I don't know how many blocks. He was putting up like 2 blocks a game. But like as of recent, he has just not been good, and it that could be the reason. He could be the reason why the Timberwolves don't win this first round. But if he could like flip a switch and just give him
yeah.
10 a night and play solid defense, they will win the series. But yeah, I
You're
don't believe. I mean,
correct in being
Halliburton.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, Halliburton. He sometimes is really inconsistent, so I can see why they put him at number one for most overrated. But I wouldn't put him at number one. No, I think Rudy Gobert is number one. I mean, you get paid $300 million for what? To score 2 points in the playoff game? I don't know about
yeah.
that.
I could see the Gobert, and then there's Trey Young followed the Gobert. I mean, I understand that now because I remember he used to quiet the whole Madison Square Garden, and what's been going on lately. I know he needs help. There's another
Yeah, he
player that maybe
needs.
needs some help around him, some uh, sign some key free agents or something. Jimmy Butler's right under there, which yeah, I mean, I don't, I really don't understand that one. He's been successful everywhere he's been. Um, Bradley Beal follows. See that one? I'm okay. Bradley Beal. I know he was a scorer, but it's like, hey, have you heard him on a playoff team doing anything worthy of it? It's overrated in my opinion. I just as soon as the Suns signed him and they had their little big three, I'm like, that's not going anywhere. Booker, Beal, and Kevin Durant, and sure enough, that's going to be broken up probably most likely this year, this summer. But anyways, yeah, no, I just thought I'd bring that up. We were talking about Rudy Gobert, and looks like we're not the only ones who think that.
Yeah, and before we go on to the next game, during game one of this series, obviously, like I said, it was a physical game. Game one, Timberwolves came up on top, but during the game, one of the announcers, I can't remember who it was, but I will admit LeBron did get fouled on his 3-point attempt. He didn't get the call, but the announcer had the audacity to say LeBron is not a complainer. And when I heard that,
Oh, he did? No, he did not.
I just, I was baffled when he said that because, like I said, LeBron, he, he's probably one of the best players of all time. There's no doubt about it. He's a great basketball player. But when it comes to that, he is a complainer. He'll whine for almost anything. And so
Yeah.
when the ref said that, I was just like, oh my goodness, again, like I said, I know there's bias because I'm a Warriors fan, I'm a Steph Curry fan, but Steph Curry gets held every game for every minute he's out there. He's getting held, but you don't see him complaining whatsoever.
Yeah.
LeBron could get barely hit, and he'll be crying to the refs. And yeah, just when I heard that, I was just like, unbelievable.
He
But
throws his arms up in the air and he's
yeah,
stomped his feet, and he just. And I know it seems like you watch an NBA game, you see. I mean, it's pretty hilarious sometimes. You see like a lot of the players, they all try to,
they
uh, you
foul
know,
bait.
yeah, they
They
try to
just try to
get
get the
in
free throw line.
the referee's ear for the next call because it's hilarious. One moment you get fouled and you're letting the ref know about it, and then you go to your side and now you got that foul call, so it must have worked, So um, I see them working that angle there, and but yeah, no, that's hilarious to say that he doesn't really whine about that stuff. Because yeah, I think throughout his career, we he does.
Yeah, but we'll move on to the first and the eighth seed. Thunder. There's not really much to say about the Thunder Grizzlies game. The Thunder manhandled the Grizzlies in game one. They manhandled them again today in game two. Beat them by
It's
19. Yeah, I mean, the playing game against the Warriors, the Grizzlies team looked great. Obviously, Ja had a little ankle tweak, but just looks like so far they just have had no fight against the Thunder. And it's not like the
no.
Thunder are unbeatable. They've lost games. They are not a perfect team. I mean, yeah, they're a great team. They got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Lou Dort. Um, so they got a lot of great players, but it's not like Memphis is a bad team. They got Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Zach Edey, and yeah, they are probably gonna get swept um, in this
Yeah, I
series,
think
which
so.
is
That's what I got too. I mean, they got again this two young teams going at it, and uh, you got after Morant, trying to carry the load. Desmond Bain has in the last few games hasn't, although tonight look, he was still 7 of 17. Looks like he got 12 rebounds, 19 points. But after that, there's a drop off. Scottie Pippen Jr. He's still pretty young. Zach Edey's a rookie, and yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. Can't forget about him if I didn't say him, but yeah, I just think they're going to fall short. They're not going to have enough. There's this that Thunder team. They've been number one all year for a reason.
yeah.
They just got too much firepower. Shea Gilgeous looks like he's going to win the MVP because without him, they got good players, but not championship type of team. With him on there, they're looking for to hold that trophy up at the end of when it's all said and done. And Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and then Lou Dort, and yeah, a lot of good players there on that team. So yeah, I think that's a sweep as well.
Yeah, I think that's a sweep. I think the Grizzlies come out on top of that side of the West. But and then Magic Celtics, like again, the first seed versus the eighth seed. At one point, the Magic were up in this game. I believe right before the half ended, but second half came and the Celtics just took over. They just dominated. They would Jason Tatum actually didn't play that well. He kind of got injured. He only had 17. Jalen Brown only had 16. Porzingis only had 5. But they were led by their bench players. I mean, Derek White 30 points, Peyton Pritchard 19. I mean, they like I said, they also have a really good bench. Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett. They got some good guys off that bench. And for the Magic, Paulo at 36, Franz Wagner only at 23. But after that, no one really gave him
Yeah,
anything. So it's gonna be a struggle for the Magic if they don't get any more help. Game 2 for them is tomorrow. So hopefully the Magic could upset. I'm pretty sure Jason Tatum is not playing due to an ankle injury. So we'll check in on that.
really? Okay.
Yeah, but Celtics absolutely dominated game 1. And game 2, same game 1 for the Heat Cavs. Heat made 10th seed, made it. They won both their playing games. But they got dominated by the Cavs. Bam Adebayo, 24 points. Wiggins, 14. Tyler Hero at 21. Davion Mitchell at 18. But just not enough. Not enough from. I mean, Jaime Jaquez had 1 minute. Last year, he was a key contributor to this Heat team, and now he's not even getting minutes. Even Nikola Jovic is not getting minutes, which is kind of beyond me. But for the Cavaliers, Max Strus, Mobley combined for 18, Jared Allen at 13, Donovan Mitchell at 30, Darius Garland at 27, and Ty Jerome off the bench, 28 points. And I mean, shoot, when you got a guy coming off the bench scoring 28 points, you're gonna
Yeah.
win games by 20 plus. And that's what happened there. Like I said, game 2 for them is tomorrow as well. And then finally, the final game 1 that's been played, Rockets Warriors, and going in. Obviously, the Warriors were actually favorites, but they are the 6th seed, or the 7th seed. Rockets are the 2 seed, and Rockets, a lot of young guys, a lot of fire, a lot of trash talkers, and a lot of people thought they were
Yeah.
gonna win this in 5 games, win it in 6 games, but they were dominated the whole game from start to finish. Warriors were up about 10 points the whole game. They were up 28 at one point. Curry hit a miraculous shot. Jimmy Butler hit a big three. Um, Obviously, Rockets made a little bit of comeback, but the Warriors team is just they are too experienced to, especially against a Rockets team like that that's that young. I mean, coming down in the clutch. Um, I remember Jimmy Butler got a big steal. Draymond gave it back to him and he dunked it down. I mean, Curry played close. I think he played 38, 39 minutes. Butler played 40 or to 42. Um, and if Curry is able to play Jimmy 40 minutes and Curry 38 minutes, and just the other guys step up. Pajemski and Moody hit a big three. Moody's a great defender as well. They will win this series in 5.
Right, right. Yeah, I think so. I think the experience versus the youth again is going to take over. This is the Rockets. This is pretty high seed for them, and just considering where they've been in the last times they've been in the playoffs. But yeah, after Sengun, it is a big there's a drop off there, especially if Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, they're not going to be off their game, then that's going to be game over because uh, the other guys are just going to be so young that you can't count on Dylan Brooks. He played 34 minutes, but he's not the guy who's supposed to that we're supposed to fear. You know what I mean? It's the other
Yeah,
Jalen Greens and Senguns and and Thompson's not. He's not really a scorer himself. He's more in there defensively and
yeah,
but yeah, I think if and then off the bench they didn't have much production too. Steve Adams got in there and he got 6 points and he's another one of
Bar
the
Smith had
Warriors.
11 off the bench.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, in a game where the Warriors were dominated so much on the offensive boards and they still won the game by 10, it just shows you the kind of team they are. The defense. I mean, it was a low scoring game. I mean, it was 95-85. It was the lowest scoring game the Rockets have been held to all year, and it just shows you what type of defensive team the Warriors are. I mean, Butler 25, Curry at 31, and not. I mean, Podziemski had 14, but then they got 7 from Moody and Payne. But yeah, this is gonna be probably the most physical series throughout the entire playoffs. They probably won't be a more physical series than this. Two teams that have a little bit of beef are going back and forth with each other. There's gonna be a lot of, shoving and stuff, and a lot of trash talking. But this Warriors team they've been there, And
Yeah.
to be frank, not many the Rockets really have it. I mean, Dylan Brooks has some playoff experience, but then again,
Yeah.
has only been in the second round. And Steven Adams has been to the I'm pretty sure the Western Conference Finals. He's got some playoff experience, but otherwise, Fred VanVleet won the title. I almost forgot about Fred VanVleet. But yeah, like you said, when Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet aren't scoring, it's gonna make life for the Rockets really hard. But then again, that's not just because they're missing shots. I mean, Fred VanVleet did miss a couple of wide open shots, but the Warriors are just playing great defense. They're rotating well.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
playing very physical and up close on them. Most when they're switching from one good defender to another. I mean, Curry, he's not known for his defense, but it's not like he's actually doing pretty good out there. They're switching. I'm pretty sure he guarded Jalen Green most of the night, and he did really good. I mean, and many people were like I said, Curry only had 3 points when they last played him in the regular season. People thought this series is
That
over,
was it.
right? And it's like Curry's not. Curry's gonna,
No, no way.
yeah,
30's number 30. You're allowed, I know you are human, you're allowed to have a bad game or a couple of bad games. I've seen him come back the next game and kind of that washes everything away because the next thing you know, he's making these crazy logo 3-pointers or side, hit that one where he just took it in the side of his head and threw it up. Reminded me of the Olympics all over again.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, he's just going to continue to do his thing. There was one thing where I was reading somewhere where it said Warriors are going to go as far as, Curry takes them because Curry, he's pretty much got to be great, and that's true. Even though we've seen him for so long that he is great, and like I said, like Shaq brought that up. We talked about it before. He's one of the goats, top 5 in my opinion. That's another topic, but like I said, he needs to be in this whole playoffs for the Warriors to be successful and to host another championship. Get his 5th one to pretty much cement his goat status. Yeah, he has to be great. He's got to just continue doing what he's doing. And I know he will. These guys are motivated. Curry, every time you're telling Curry or Draymond or even Jimmy Butler that you guys are going to lose the play-in or you're going to have problems with the Rockets. This is all motivation for these guys. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear that. Curry, you're Amen Thompson. You're going to have a hard time with him. You only scored 3 points last time. What happened? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Playoff games is going to have there's going to be adjustments, and it's not going to be like that every night, obviously. So this would be I think, like you said, this is going to be a pretty physical, and it's going to be drawn out. How many games? I don't know. I'm thinking, if Warriors win tomorrow,
yeah,
I'm going to say 4, 5. I might bring it to 6, because maybe the Rockets go in there and steal one, maybe 2. But yeah, I think, and I'm looking at the Timberwolves real quick. It looks like they're still down 69-51. But yeah, when we watch the Warrior games, we get pretty pumped up, especially when we hear everything we hear about how they're, Rockets have been trying to knock them off for years, right? Like,
yeah. And
even
Curry's 4-0 against them in the playoffs, so it's gonna be tough for them. Yeah, I've seen many things saying like Game 2 tomorrow is must win for the Rockets, and if
for
they
the
don't
Rockets,
win, they are not winning the series.
yeah, that's going to be tough. Now you're talking about, throughout the
Going
remainder of the
going
game,
to
win 4.
Chase Center, even though Chase Center is not
Yeah,
nearly as close to what Oracle was, it's still home court advantage for the Warriors. They're still gonna have a
yeah,
sold out crowd.
yeah. And I can't remember what game it was, but it was one of the last games that they had, home games that the Warriors had. And they were pretty loud. They brought it. I was not in the first half because they were still probably going through getting to their seats or stuck in traffic or parking, whatever it may be. Kind of like the LA Laker fans or Clipper fans. You don't get there till halftime, but when they after that halftime, yeah, it was loud. I could tell a difference. Nothing like Oracle, but yeah, we're ready, man. So far so good. Warriors put the pressure on the Rockets, and let's see what kind of character they have. And I think their coach is going to get their get their mind right, and they're going to come out fighting again. And it's just not going to be a complete walkover sweep. And I think they battle it out like we've been saying, and yeah, it's going to be good. I don't know if you know this, but the NBA ratings for the playoffs started, and it's the highest it's ever been in 25 years.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think the most watched game was between the Celtics and the Magic at like 6.5
wow.
million viewers or something like that. But yeah, ratings were up.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of good games, a lot of just a lot of people. That West, we talked about the West before. I mean, it's really like you said, like anybody could win. Go to the finals. It's just a matter of how hot you get. It could be Timberwolves, Lakers, Warriors, Rockets. Just everybody plays some, solid basketball, and it's limit your mistakes, and you have a chance. So we'll see. No, it's just been some good basketball thus far, and can't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But that will probably conclude um the first game from round one of the playoffs. We're not gonna really talk about any other sports. But the NFL draft is this Thursday. Round
Is it
one will
Thursday?
be. Yes,
Hmm.
I looked it up. It's April 24th in Green Bay. It is this Thursday. We will find out which quarterbacks go where. Where does Travis Hunter land? And yeah, it's gonna be an exciting day. Thursday is gonna be a huge day for a lot of teams. I know the Raiders. For us Raiders fans, we got the sixth pick. We're gonna see what are we gonna do with that. We're gonna draft a running back or quarterback. We'll wait and see. But Thursday will be a big day. NFL draft. Um, and yeah, I think that will conclude all for.
Dang it.
Yeah. But I think that will conclude all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank my guest, my uncle. Thank you for joining me today. But thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube. But yeah, until next time, stay ready.